So following that fantastic victory away in Prague in midweek in the Europa League, Arsenal are back in Premier League action this weekend when Fulham visit the Emirates. This is the Arsenal versus Fulham match preview. Hello, my name is Richard. Welcome back to my channel over and over and over again, the Positive Arsenal channel. In this video, I'm going to look ahead to this weekend's London derby here at the Emirates against relegation threatened Fulham. I'm going to look at previous meetings. We're going to look at the current form of both sides. I'm going to predict the lineups and also give a score prediction. Just before I get into all that, I just want to make sure that you are subscribing to my channel. If you're new here and you like what I do, please click on the subscribe button down in the corner. It does help the channel to grow. It is free of charge and it does enable more people to find the videos. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like as well. And if you've got any comments at all to make about this particular game, your thoughts on the Europa League semi-final coming up against Villarreal or anything else to do with Arsenal, please drop me in the comments box below, as I do love to hear from you guys and I do try to reply to as many of you as I can. So in history then, Arsenal and Fulham have met 58 times in all competitions, 57 of those actually in the league. Arsenal have won 40, there's been 10 draws and Fulham have won just 8 times. In fact, we're unbeaten in our last 8 meetings with Fulham. That's 6 wins and 2 draws. And that was since the last Fulham victory, which was in January 2012. We've actually won the last 6 meetings in the Premier League. We've scored 18 goals in those games and conceded just 7. In fact, of the last 34 meetings between the sides, we've only lost 3. We've won 25 of those matches and drawn the other 6. In fact, Fulham have never won in 29 visits to Arsenal in all competitions. That goes back to 1904 across 3 different venues as well. That includes the Manor Ground at Plumstead, Highbury, and of course the Emirates. In those 29 games, Arsenal have won 24 and Fulham have drawn 5. So can they make a little bit of history here this weekend? In terms of current form then, Fulham have only won twice in their last 21 games in the league, although their defeat at Aston Villa in their last away game did end a run of 8 away matches without defeat. That was since a 2-0 loss at Manchester City. They've only actually scored 6 goals in their last 11 games, although 5 of those goals have come away from home. So they're clearly struggling at home like many teams are. And in fact, they've only had 1 defeat in their 3 London derbies this season. They've drawn with Tottenham and Crystal Palace and their only defeat came away at West Ham. Their top scorer this season is the Cordova Reed. He's got 7 goals, and then it's Lookman who's second top scorer with only 4. So you can clearly see what their problems have been putting the ball in the back of the net. In terms of Arsenal, we've only actually won 1 of our last 6 matches at the Emirates Stadium, which was, of course, the North London derby. We haven't won any of our last 3. In fact, we've only scored 1 goal in those 3 games. That was that late goal from Nicolas Pepe in the first leg of the Europa League quarter-final against Slavia Prague. That followed 2 defeats against Liverpool and also Olympiacos, in which we didn't score. In fact, we didn't score in the previous game before the Tottenham one either against Manchester City. So we have struggled here at the Emirates this season. However, we have only had 2 defeats in our last 11 matches in all competitions. And of course, we come into this game on the back of 2 great wins at Sheffield United and away at Slavia Prague. We've scored 7 goals and conceded none. So in terms of our lineup then, what's Mikel Arteta going to do? I'll be surprised if he doesn't rest quite a few players now, not only in this game, but in most of our league games between now and the semi-final against Villarreal. So this is how I'm expecting us to line up. I think Matt Ryan will finally get given a nod in goal. I think Bert Leno needs a rest. I know he hasn't been called upon a lot in the last 2 games to make saves, but I do feel as though he needs a rest. So I think Matt Ryan will start in goal. I think the back 4, I think Bellerin will come in at right back. He's not really been playing that much lately. I think at centre back, I think Gabriel will be back back in, and he'll probably be partnered by Rob Holding to give Pablo Mari a rest. And I think left back, well, maybe Granit Xhaka might continue there, possibly, or maybe Cedric might play there in this game to give Xhaka a rest. I think in midfield, I wouldn't be surprised if El Neni comes in there. It'd be nice for Aziz to get a start, wouldn't it, as well? Not sure if Mikel Arteta will take that much of a risk, so maybe Dani Ceballos might play alongside El Neni. And in the front four, this is where I'll be expecting the most changes. Balogun, of course, could be in line for a start, couldn't he? Or possibly Eddie Nketiah in place of Lacazette, who is in good form, but maybe again he's possibly a player that needs a rest as well. In the wide positions, I think Martinelli will probably get a start on the left-hand side. Who's going to be on the right? Will he move Nicolas Pepe over there, or will he maybe stick with Bukayo Saka? The number 10 position, if Martin Odegaard's fit, maybe he'll come in. He maybe needs a run out, doesn't he, ahead of the semi-final? Maybe Smith Rowe as well. He did tire a bit in the second half against Slavia Prague. Maybe he needs some more minutes as well. But we have got a few options there, and I think it's going to be interesting to see if maybe some of the other young players maybe don't come in and get a look in this game. In terms of Fulham, then they tend to line up a little bit like this. They've got Areola in goal. Of course, they had a good season for them. In defence, they tend to have either Tato Anderson as their right back. It tends to be Kangolo and Aina as the centre, and Robinson at left back. In midfield, it's usually Lamina, Reed, and maybe Anguissa as well. And then in the front three, Mitrovic, Loftus-Cheek, and possibly Mayo. Of course, did score twice away at Everton recently. So I think they could well be your lineups for this game. So it's a bit difficult to predict this from Arsenal's point of view, isn't it? How seriously are we going to be taking this game? Of course, Fulham need the points, don't they, to try to move away from the relegation zone. So I'm sure they're going to be up for it. It's just depending on whether our mind is not distracted by this run in the Europa League, and also how many changes Mikel Arteta makes to the team. Obviously, on paper, you should say we'll start favourites, and it'd be good to get the win and close that gap on Tottenham in the Premier League, wouldn't it? But I'm not confident that we'll win this game. They've been pretty good away from home, Fulham. I say only one defeat in their last 9 games away from home. They've never won at the Emirates, and maybe this is a bridge too far for them again. But I do feel they might get something from this game. So I'm going to go to final score: Arsenal 1, Fulham 1. We mustn't write off the Premier League, of course, although all our focus now is definitely on the Europa League, and rightly so. We're in the semi-final and so close, aren't we, to possibly getting Champions League football next season. I'd still like us to try to win every league game and finish as high as we can, but realistically, with the squad that we've got, I think it's important to rotate players. So I don't think we need to worry too much about this game, do we? It's a game that's got to be played, and let's hope we can get the right result. I'm sure it means a lot more to Fulham because a victory for them would really help their cause. But I say they've never won away at Arsenal, so I don't think they'll be good enough to get the victory. So I'm expecting us to get a result. And, I say there may be a chance in this game for one or two of the younger players or one or two of the squad players to really step up and prove that maybe they deserve some minutes in the big European game coming up in a couple of weeks. That's my preview there of this weekend's game against Fulham here at the Emirates. Not the biggest game of the season, of course, for Arsenal, though I'm sure it will be for Fulham. Please stay tuned to the channel because I've got a lot of stuff going on. I'm hoping to get the warm-up show on tonight with a Fulham fan on. I'm still trying to organise the details of that, so hopefully I'll get that out tonight at maybe 8 o'clock. And then, of course, tomorrow, the big game, I will be doing a watch-along. The game starts at 1:30. I'll probably go live about 20 past for team news and build-up, and then full match commentary and analysis. And then on Monday, I will do a review video of this game before we move ahead, of course, next week into the big game against Everton, of course. So loads coming up on the channel. So if you haven't done so already, please click the subscribe button down in the corner. It is free of charge. It helps the channel reach a larger audience. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like as well. Please click on the notification bell, and it does keep you notified whenever I do a live show or release a video. And I say, please share the content around as well. If you've got any comments at all to make about this game, how important do you think it is? What lineup would you like to see? Please drop your comments in the box because it'd be great to hear your views as well. Thanks for your support. Thanks for watching the channel. And of course, as always, as we head towards maybe not what's not a big game, but every game for Arsenal is important, isn't it? So let's hope that we can get another victory, keep the momentum going. Another clean sheet would be good as well, wouldn't it? Come on, you Gunners!